Malika Andrews joins us once again from the bubble. And Malika, we spoke on the last edition of this show about a Toronto team that found itself in an 0-2 hole and was frustrated, understandably so. The Bucks find themselves in the similar, exactly the same, I should say, 0-2 hole. The path to that, though, was really shocking, I have to imagine. How were they processing the way this game ended against the Heat?
I mean, they're still processing it, Scott. Giannis Antetokounmpo said that he hasn't rewatched the play yet, although on the court you could see he was watching as the officials reviewed whether or not it was a foul that he committed on Jimmy Butler. And so Giannis said, look, I'm going to have to go back to the tape. And so I asked him, what are you hoping to glean from that? Are you hoping to confirm or disagree with what the call was on the floor? Or are you hoping to learn maybe how to manipulate your body differently so that you can avoid it in the future? And he said, what's done is done. I can't do anything about the call on the floor. That already happened. All I can do is learn moving forward. But really what stood out to me, Scott, isn't what was said by Mike Budenholzer, who was very measured when he talked about the officiating. It wasn't what was said by Chris Middleton, who said that it just sucks the way we lost. That's what's eating at him. It was what wasn't said. Eric Bledsoe, Giannis, Chris, Mike Budenholzer, all of them were very clipped in their answers. You could tell this is going to weigh on them, and they're going to struggle a little bit to shake it off, not because of the loss, but because of how it happened and because it came down to just that final shot. And as Chris Middleton said, when there is 0 time left, we have no chance to respond. There's nothing we can do about it. And now they find themselves in an 0-2 hole.
But I would counter, Malika, that you could argue that the foul call that the Bucks got was just as questionable. I didn't happen to think it was a foul, and they didn't lead in this game. And the only reason that they had a chance is because Miami was, I'll put it in a not so nice way, kind of pooping in their pants there at the end. And if they were contributing in their own demise. So I would say that the Bucks have bigger. Yeah, it's a 2-0 deficit, but they weren't the better team for the bulk of this game. I would think that would be a bigger problem.
Well, no question. Miami led for the majority of the game. They had control. And I would point out, even without Jimmy Butler going off in the fourth quarter like he has been, he was much more of a facilitator, and they still thrived basically all game long. But here's the thing that I've learned about the Bucks, Scott. If you ask Giannis, especially, if you ask them what teams do to them, that's a non-starter. They are always the team that is going to say, no, it was us. We're going to look inside. We're going to see what we did and how we could be better. So I have a feeling that they might actually agree with you, not necessarily on the call against Middleton, but in saying we should have never been in the position where it came down to that last final second, because we did have a chance. At a point in the fourth quarter, they were jockeying it out with them, and they just could not hang on and pull through. So maybe if what you're saying is correct, which there are plenty of people who believe that the foul against Middleton should not have been called, then this was just some sort of fate shaking out the way that it was already going to go inevitably if that had not been called.
Whatever people think the foul should or shouldn't have been called, I think everyone would agree, particularly in the Bucs side, they're going to need to play better to win that first game, and they're going to need to win 4 of the next, they hope, 5 games. Malika, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Scott.